Kia ora, everyone. I can see that there's four of you here, so I think we'll just make a start. My name is John Finnerty. I'm the program leader for the Social and Community Leadership Program, and I'm really excited to be talking with you today about the program and what we're doing, and to give you a little bit of background into it. So today I'll start with an introduction to the program to tell you about basically where it came from, why we have it. Then I'll talk about the admission requirements. I'll discuss the structure, and then we've got time for questions. As I understand it, you can't verbally ask a question, but you can write in questions in a little box somewhere in the Zoom thing. So it'll be great. If you've got anything, just feel free to write that down, and I'll make this relatively brief so we've got time to ask questions. But I'm also, if you have any other questions that occur to you, don't hesitate to get in touch with me at any time. So in terms of the program itself, this program came around for a number of reasons, but the 7 that I've kind of narrowed it down to include the fact that at the time when we launched this program, there was very much a growing desire for social change. There was a recognition that that the world was beset by a range of wicked problems, and continues to be, and people are looking to find ways that they might start to interrupt and disrupt those things and to produce some change. And that led to a strong desire for us to support people to think in different ways around producing change. To do that, we passionately believe that social innovation and co-design are going to be critical if we are to see the changes that need to happen. Social innovation refers to innovating, which is doing new things in new ways, including changing things from one context to another, to produce changes in pressing social and community needs. Co-design talks to the need to ensure that the people who will be interacting with the solutions to these social changes are also involved in designing those solutions to make sure that those solutions will have some strong value for them and have some sustainability. We also know that the best social innovation, the most wonderful opportunities to produce social change are empty without effective leadership. And we recognise that leadership is a skill that can be taught, and that makes this a critical focus for our program. We also know that that there are a number of people working in these areas, and there was quite a strong level of unmet need to support people to develop further around these areas and to really go deeper into some of the more advanced ways of working that are not often available to people working in grassroots organisations, but that do exist behind the paywall of the university. Evaluation, as you'll see, is a key focus for us, because this is a critical element in the mix for when we want to see social change sustained. That's because evaluation is really the thing that talks to policymakers and funders, which enables those innovations to be continued. We also passionately believe that research and theory can accelerate social change, and part of what we wanted to do with this program, and for those of you considering the Masters, is support people to become adept at conducting their own research and generating theory, as well as using research and theory to really accelerate social change. And we spend a lot of time working and using this research in an applied way. And finally, we know that some of this work can be isolating and frustrating, and that a number of people who are involved in making change seek community themselves, and we wanted to provide a place that that would be a warm home for people interested in social and community leadership to find like-minded peers, as well as grow networking opportunities. And that's been something, we're in the 3rd year of the course so far, and so far we've seen a lot of people share networks, generate jobs for one another, and help support problems they're experiencing in work through the community of the course. So that's a really important element for us. In terms of, so that was a bit of the background. Essentially, the reason for the course is that we want to see social and community change, and we can do something to produce that, and that's this set of programs. So in terms of the study pathways then, the way that people gain access into this program is via a bachelor's degree with 60 points in social science subjects. So, and to be honest, that can be, social work, arts, laws, or education. Essentially, it's anything that demonstrates that you've had some, you've done some thinking about society, community, you recognize that particular people experience particular challenges, a general sense that you have done some work in your undergraduate degree that touches on those elements, or that you've had some relevant experience working in a social or community setting. So that might be volunteering in an organisation, you might be working in a faith-based context that demonstrates some of those things. We're quite open to this, and essentially that shouldn't be something that should become a barrier. There are 2 options there's 2 programs. You might choose to sign up for the postgraduate certificate, or you might choose to go straight into the Masters. If you go straight into the Masters, you need to have a GPA that's greater than 5, and that is a B average. And that needs to be, I think, in your final 2 years of study. Maybe it's in your last year of study. The admissions people will tell you about that. You also can gain access to the Masters through access from the postgraduate certificate. That certificate doesn't have a GPA requirement, so that is an open entry certificate. And from that certificate, if you get a B average or more, you're then eligible to enter into the Masters of Social and Community Leadership as well, if you wish to do that. The neat thing about this is that after the Masters, for those of you who catch the research bug or get really passionate about a field of practice, you might then choose to continue on to do a Doctor of Philosophy, a PhD. In terms of the entry requirements, I've covered those. Sorry, that's a redundant slide. We are in the midst of changing our structure, and we are still waiting on Central University's approval for this. However, we suspect that we will be successful. There's no reason to see that we wouldn't be. Currently, the program consists of the green courses. The green is the certificate, and the dark blue at the far end are those elements that occur when someone decides to go into the Masters. So to summarise, at present there's 2 core courses. These are compulsory, SocLEAD 700 and 701. They're both offered in semester 1 at present. And then 30 points of electives gives you the certificate. And then for the Masters, you'll do a 30-point research methods course, which is a fantastic course in as much as it scaffolds and steps you through the processes that you need to support you into your research project, which is a thesis. You'll do your ethics application, or you'll start to scaffold your ethics in that social work course, and you'll do quite a lot of work around understanding what methodology you'll use, so that when you start the research project, you've already made quite a lot of headway. However, this is changing in a good way. and this is going to become much simpler from next year, everything going according to plan, where the 2 courses become 2 30-point courses. There's no more elective courses, and they are offered 1 in each semester. So that means that you can do the certificate part-time. You can't do it full-time because the certificate is only made up of those 2 courses, and at present they're only offered in semester 1 for 30 points and semester 2 for the last 30 points. However, if you want to be full-time and do the Masters, and you get entry into the Masters, you can do this by doing SOCLEAD 706 and the Research Methods course in semester 1, that's 60 points, and then doing SOCLEAD 703 and beginning the research project Master's thesis in semester 2, where you'll do your 30 points of that thesis and 30 points of the SOCLEAD course concurrently. And then in your final semester, you'll do 60 points of the research thesis. In terms of those courses, just to kind of give you an outline, many of you will have seen this on the Course Finder website, but Leadership, Ethics and Systems talks to the fact that to do so requires a critical, ethical and analytical foundation. In this course, the themes include ethical leadership, how that aligns to social justice, thinking about analysing complex social issues, and there's a large focus on systems and how to effectively produce change. As a foundational kind of tenet of the university, the Treaty of Waitangi is also explored, and we also investigate how diversity and equity play into formulating actions in leadership. SOCLEAD 706, of which I'm the course director and teacher, along with my colleague Kelsey Dean, is involved and is very much a hands-on. Both of these are very hands-on courses. We use a workshop format, and in this course, you will actually produce a social innovation in response to real-world need, and we will coach you through the entire design process so that you have a strong understanding around how innovation works, what is required to do effective design, as well as some of the foundational concepts around evaluation. Kelsey, who I mentioned before, is probably one of New Zealand's leading evaluation experts, so she's a fantastic resource to have with us. So in terms of where can this all take you, some of this depends on what you're bringing with you coming into the program. We have a range of students, I'll cover that in the next slide, but it does give you the opportunity, particularly if you're already doing some work in social and community organisations, to step into a leadership role that might involve including working in education, government sectors. You may also move into more management work and coordination work in social and community settings. Many people choose this program because of its focus on leadership, and this is seen for them as a key step in their career progression in a way that they can demonstrate that they are doing some formal work on their leadership. The focus around design and innovation lends this course well to support people interested going into program design as well as project management. We obviously give you some of the basic skills around evaluation that you can take into those sorts of roles. We also do a lot of work clearly around finding ethical and productive ways to work with communities. So this can lead into a nice role as a community facilitator or advocate, as well as just a general facilitator and educator. Ultimately, some people will take these skills into policy positions, and others will set themselves up as social innovators and consultants to work where needed on particular pressing issues and needs. In terms of who's on the program at the moment, we have graduates from a range of undergraduate programs, art, science, education and law so far. We have a number of students from engineering, disaster management that are also interested. So this is very much an interdisciplinary program because social innovation demands working across teams and breaking down barriers. We have people in the program who are working at all levels in the sector. We have people working in social work settings, including homelessness, prisons, domestic violence, youth justice, youth health, adoption, community development, community law. We have people in disability sector, people in district health boards, in schools, both primary and secondary. We also have some in early childhood places. We have quite a significant contingent of people working in environmental and sustainability organisations. And as I said, other students who are in the courses but not in the program from other programs in disaster management, youth health at Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences, and education who are doing teacher training or education leadership. And if you you'll be able to find a range of videos on the website where some of our students have talked about their experiences. If you've made contact with enrolments, they'll often send you a website link, including the link to the microsite that has some of our wonderful people talking about things. Helen, who is the person on the left underneath the postgraduate webinars sign, has just invited me to the launch of her research project. She is one of our students. She works at the Auckland City Mission. She's had enormous media coverage, including live media on breakfast television in the last week around her research on food security and producing a measure that demonstrates with more accuracy what we mean when we're talking about food insecurity. And she's a wonderful example of someone who is using some of these skills from our program to really affect change. So that's enough of my spiel. I can see there's 9 of you, which is fantastic. And I'm now going to the Q&A slide, which I think is the one I go to. My colleague Antoinette is here to help me in case we're in the wrong place. But if anyone's got any questions, as I said before, please feel free to reach out to me directly if you've got anything that you want to ask. Otherwise, yeah, I hope we see you on the program. We have a really exciting program, and it's really wonderful actually to see and meet lots of different people coming in. So I do invite any questions, any wonderings that you've got.
John,
and we've got that last slide too.
That's right. It usually takes a few minutes for questions to come through, so I'll take this opportunity to just quickly go through the admission process. And basically there are 2 processes if you're interested in the program, whether it's a certificate or a master's program. You apply for admission, and in that process you have to provide your academic transcript. If you've studied with us at the University of Auckland, then you don't need to provide that. We would have that on record. But for those who haven't studied with us before, welcome. Provide your transcript and also your personal documents. So basically documents that would support you as a person, your identity, passport, birth certificate, that kind of thing, and also validate your citizenship or residency status so that the university will know whether you are domestic or an international student. Now, once you are admitted into the program, you will then be able to enroll in courses. Now, enrollment opens on the 1st of November. So I wouldn't recommend that you wait to apply, because we're coming up to a really, really busy time for the University of Auckland. There's a whole lot of people applying, especially for undergraduate programs. So we don't want you to get caught in the backlog. So if you're keen, I recommend you apply as quickly as possible, and then we would be able to process your application. My name is Antoinette Vaha. I'm the Postgraduate Recruitment Coordinator for the faculty. My email address is listed there, pgt@auckland.ac.nz. I'll be able to case manage your application from the beginning right through to the end. So don't hesitate to flick me an email, and if there's any questions I can't answer, I will escalate to John. Yeah.
Awesome. Antoinette is amazing. She knows everything about the programs, and we're really lucky to have her. So, yeah,
doesn't seem to be
any questions,
which is good. I think you did a wonderful job, John.
Thank you. That's fantastic. But yeah, so thank you everyone for coming. And as I say, if you've got any other questions or you want to, something occurs to you later on, please feel free to get in touch. Okay, bye.